chilling in the parking lot. So, you know, did a little shopping and stuff. But I just came to the decision, and I'm gonna just be cool because I'm kind of tired of, being fake, and just bite my tongue. Um, on the real, I think I'm gonna make an announcement, and I want you guys to hear it firsthand. Um, as of today, I think I am going to probably retire from covering boxing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, as far as the PBC go, I won't ever apply for a PBC card ever again, because I just decided with the politics involved with them and how they hold grudges in the games they play, it's just like I'm done with this. You know, I'm done like kissing up to the PBC and trying to be cordial with them, and then they want to play games. They want to pick and choose who they give credentials to and play these games about numbers and all this kind of stuff. And I know for a fact they be giving people credentials that got 500 subs and all that kind of stuff. So I just decided that I'm kind of done with that, and I'm about to fall back on the for right now, for the time being, I'm gonna fall back on the covering fight stuff, like going to these live fights and stuff. As far as Top Rank go, I'm cool with Top Rank. I'm cool with Matchroom. I may just continue to send people on my behalf, but I just can't play these games anymore, because the PBC, they denied me credentials for Spence versus Crawford. I only asked for a media room and fight week credential, and I'm not going there on the fluke, begging them to let me in and all this kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, if I'm on the permanent list, that's cool, because I'm about to get put on there today after hearing and witnessing this. And then something else I'm finna say, a lot of these pro black dudes on here is fake, and I'm not even gonna lie. As far as Spence versus Crawford go, I'm just gonna keep it a bug. It would be better for boxing if Crawford won that fight. And there's no guarantee that he is gonna win the fight, but I think it would be better for boxing. Now, once again, these fake pro black power to the people Negroes ain't nowhere to be found, because now reports are coming out that Ryan Garcia allegedly made $30 million for fighting Tank Davis. And could somebody please explain to me, how did Ryan pull off a monumental payday like that? If Ryan made 30, what the hell did Tank make? So it just goes to show you that this fight was more successful than maybe what they leading on. I guess internationally it did very well, because if he made $30 million, it makes you wonder what Tank possibly took home. But this just goes to show you, but this is the PBC, and this just proves what I've been saying. But then you got these people that want to play the pro black card when it comes to Terrence Crawford. But these were the same people that was telling Terrence Crawford he needed to take what Spence and the PBC give him. Now, we can all agree that Terrence Crawford is a more accomplished fighter than Ryan Garcia, right? And I can pretty much all but guarantee that Terrence Crawford hasn't ever touched $30 million for one fight. But yet Ryan Garcia, who has basically no belts, who has, when I say, it would be generous to say that he has a okay resume, somehow managed to make $30 million. But this is what I've been saying about the PBC. They don't give a damn about black people or black fighters. And for y'all to always kind of come here, you fake pro-black dudes who always harass anybody and try to play that on cold stuff with the PBC, when it comes to the PBC, you guys can go to hell. And that's just real talk. How can anybody with a straight face sit up here and try to justify Ryan Garcia making $30 million? If Ryan Garcia made, and I hate to be pocket watching. Now, listen, this ain't aimed towards pretty much the non-black community. This is aimed towards these pro-black militant people who always talking that power to the people stuff. And this is what Coach Malachi be talking about when he be going in on some of these dudes. And I don't have no problem with Coach Malachi, because to a certain degree he right. So where all you guys at calling out the injustice that Al Heyman gave Ryan Garcia $30 million? But then again, Al Heyman got a history of doing this. He gave Conor McGregor, a dude who never had a professional fight in his life, he gave him like $100 million. But then these the same people that was talked about, they don't know if they got any money for Terrence Crawford. But they tried to play games with Terrence Crawford's money. But then all of a sudden everybody mad at Terrence Crawford, but y'all ain't saying nothing. You guys ain't saying nothing. You guys are a bunch of cowards. And that's all it come down to. And you know, some of these dudes that I'm affiliated with in the LDBC, and this is why I started to back away from some of them dudes, man, because they don't keep it real. And I'm just gonna keep it 100. As far as my affiliation with the LDBC go, I like some of them, and then some of them I don't like. And they feel the same about me, because at the end of the day, they've been pushing this narrative. They've been demeaning Terrence Crawford as a man, as a person. Now they always counting Terrence Crawford's money, but then they ain't counting Ryan Garcia's. I don't see hardly no videos. I don't see hardly no videos made talking about this. But all of a sudden, y'all want to protect Al Heyman and defend Al Heyman and make excuses for him, a guy who basically did made it clear he don't value black fighters. He don't believe in making black versus black fights. They really didn't want to make Spence versus Crawford. And like I said before, I want to see somebody come on here and try to justify Ryan Garcia if Ryan Garcia made $30 million. Now this is allegedly, this is just the reports. If Ryan Garcia made $30 million for fighting Tank, and then they was tripping out trying to pay Terrence Crawford and the people, and then you so-called pro-black dudes that was telling Terrence Crawford he should just take whatever they give him. So where's that outrage? Y'all is somewhere with y'all tails tucked, ain't saying nothing. And that's why I'll mess with a lot of you Errol Spence fanboys, because y'all don't keep it real. So what fight was Ryan Garcia selling out? Did y'all go to Ryan Garcia's last fight before he fought Tank? Ryan Garcia wasn't selling no tickets, man. Stop the cap. Bud sold out in his hometown. He sold out in Omaha. He sold out his last fight with Sean Porter. So I'm not even trying to hear that. Errol Spence didn't sell out his last fight. So don't even try that Ryan Garcia sells tickets. Ryan Garcia don't sell no tickets. You do know I was there. You do know I was there, right? You do know I was at Errol Spence's last fight in Dallas that had like 37,000 people, and then they comped like about 4,000 tickets. Then not to mention they were selling tickets for as low as between $35 and $45. If you sell a ticket for $45, that stadium should have had 80,000 people in there. $45, and you still couldn't even get 40,000 people up in there. So stop the cap, bro. Who do you think you talking to, dude? Who do you think you talking to? Ryan Garcia's last fight Ryan didn't even get like 10,000 people at his last fight. You do know I know other media people, right? You do know that, right? I ask all the time, hey, how many people was there? Nah, man, it wasn't that many people there. So I know. So don't try to sit up here and say Ryan Garcia sells tickets. Ryan Garcia wasn't selling no tickets. They had plenty of tickets left. So no, don't sit up there and try to make excuses. See, you pulling the excuse card and you making excuses. You proving my point once again. You trying to make excuses. So don't come here talking that on cold stuff. That's the problem with y'all. None of y'all want to hear the truth. This is a sham. It's a sham, and it's just disrespectful. And exactly. That man ain't never fought for a world title ever. Don't hold no belts. Don't hold no belts, but yet he get $30 million. But then you had Terrence Crawford, an undisputed champion. An undisputed champion. And keep in mind, it wasn't his fault, since y'all love to holler about who he should have fought, didn't fight, and all this kind of stuff. You sit up there, once again, you devalue the Kell Brook fight, but y'all was the ones that was telling Terrence Crawford he'd go fight Kell Brook. Then he fights Kell Brook, then you say Kell Brook was shelling himself. You told him to fight Sean Porter, then you say Sean Porter wasn't the same fighter. You said, oh, well, yeah, he might get exposed versus Amir Khan. Then excuses come. It's just always excuses. If he wins next week versus Errol Spence, you're going to get the same type of crap, because I already know what to expect. And the thing is, you got all this hatred and vitriol towards Terrence Crawford, but then you see the injustice, you see the unfairness going on, and you don't want to call the PBC out. You don't want to call Al Haymon out. I'm just saying, Tania, please explain this to me. What belt do Ryan Garcia got? What belt do Ryan Garcia got? So you just mean to tell me that Ryan Garcia can just abruptly get $30 million? What, because he Mexican? But I get it. You don't want me to play the race card. The funny thing is, Al Haymon is the biggest race baiter out there, because Al Haymon don't believe black people fighting black people can sell. And that's another reason why he real nervous about that Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight, because at the end of the day, he really didn't want to make that fight, because now I give Errol Spence some credit, but let's just face the fact. One of the reasons why people started to demand this fight happen, because Errol Spence, in some parts of Texas, in his area, they were saying, man, you making Dallas look bad, bro. You need to fight this dude. Because see, at the end of the day, Al Haymon wanted to make, as I told you guys a year and some change ago, that he really wanted to secretly make the Canelo fight. And he wanted to try to preserve Errol Spence and keep him undefeated. Now he has to figure out, well, if Errol Spence loses to Terrence Crawford next Saturday, how can I sell the Canelo fight? How can I get people to believe that Errol Spence has a chance? Like I said, Al Haymon believed in making black versus any other person, and he saw it. What he's trying to do, he's trying to use the same formula that he used with Floyd Mayweather with Errol Spence, but the problem is Errol Spence don't have the personality that Floyd Mayweather has. And then I'm gonna get to Floyd Mayweather and his personality too, and how Floyd Mayweather hurt boxing to a certain degree, and he hurt the black community with some of his antics, because Terrence Crawford and both Errol Spence hinted to that. And then when I saw something on 7/8's channel that confirmed it about this whole thing with Devin Haney, and I'm gonna do a separate video about Devin Haney, where people want black people to demonstrate buffoonery and coonery and just plain ignorance for them to take a liking to us or want to follow us. And like I said before, I knew somebody was gonna make excuses. I knew somebody was gonna make excuses. Come on here and make excuses trying to justify Ryan Garcia making $30 million. I'm trying to figure out, what did Ryan Garcia accomplish to make $30 million? When somebody can explain that to me, what did he do in his career? So basically, he jumped the line. And that's what he mean by belts. Ryan Garcia got paid allegedly $30 million to basically lose a fight that everybody with common sense knew that he was gonna lose. They knew it. But then so many people was fascinated by the whole thought of Ryan Garcia fighting Tank Davis. And at the end of the day, let's just keep it a buck. I'm gonna just say something to you Hispanics, in particular you Mexicans, and take it however you want. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I know Al centers around y'all and caters to y'all, but at the same time, he don't value y'all, because he feel most of y'all can't beat brothers, and that's why he puts a lot of Mexican fighters on. Because see, I'm telling y'all the PBC formula. That's why he put a lot of those Hispanics And I don't, and I'm gonna say this. This is real talk. I don't have nothing against Mexicans. I don't have nothing against anybody unless they got something against me. But I am a proud black man. My thing is, if you disrespect my people, I'm gonna disrespect your people right back. I don't turn the other cheek. Okay? And that's just real talk. But I'm just telling y'all the formula. And somebody could use this to, make a video off of this. I'm just telling the truth. Al Heyman don't value Mexicans like y'all think he do. He just use y'all to make money. But at the end of the day, he gonna in all likely put these Mexican fighters in a fight that he don't think they could win, but he feel like Mexicans gonna buy the fight because they gonna root for their guy. Which I wish we had that in our community. I give Mexicans and Asians and other non-blacks credit for their camaraderie and how they stick together, because you already know we don't stick together to save our lives. But that's just the honest to God truth. With the exception of Canelo. And we already know with Canelo, when you fight Canelo, you already like 4 to 5 rounds down when you fight Canelo. Cause somebody y'all gonna hear the truth today. That's really what the PBC formula is. That's what the PBC formula is. Al Heyman is the biggest race baiter there is. And that's why he don't like to talk to the media. That's why he runs from the media. And most like let's just keep it a buck. Tell me that I'm lying. Who thought who thought? Let's just keep it a buck. Who thought that Leo Santa Cruz had a chance versus Tank? Nobody. Let's keep it a buck. Do you want more evidence? Who thought that Errol Spence was gonna lose to Mikey Garcia? And then that fight sold because basically they were really rooting for Mikey Garcia. And the Mexicans bought that fight because they were rooting for their guy, Mikey Garcia. Some of them even though some of them was in denial, some of them just had a glimpse of hope that Mikey Garcia was going to pull that fight off. But anybody with common sense knew that Mikey Garcia, who went up almost 2.5 weight classes to fight Errol Spence, knew that he didn't have a chance in hell. Mikey Garcia was never a welterweight. And then for some reason, Errol Spence get all the credit in the world for fighting Mikey Garcia. Ask yourself this question. Why didn't the PBC sign Shakur Stevenson when they had a chance, since y'all always crying about him being on Top Rank? They had dibs at Shakur Stevenson first, and they passed on him. They passed on Keyshawn. They passed on Keyshawn Davis. They had the opportunity to sign Devin Haney. They don't want to make black versus black fighters. See, I'm hitting y'all with the real now. See, my mind is where it need to be. Because I just got tired of lying. I got tired of playing these games. Y'all just need to hear the truth. If people is offended by what I say, I'm sorry about that, but I mean every word I say. If you Mexican and you offended by what I'm saying on this video, I apologize, but I mean every word. Y'all just need to be hit with the truth. Nobody wants to answer that question. The PBC could have signed Terrence Crawford immediately when he announced that he was leaving Top Rank, which was November of 2021. By January, Terrence Crawford should have been officially signed with the PBC. They didn't make him no real offer. All this stuff about these so-called offers was complete cap, and nobody can prove that they were legitimate offers. And then this negotiation, these bogus negotiations about sign a contract, we sent you a contract. Terrence Crawford went a whole year without fighting. They could have signed Terrence Crawford and put Terrence Crawford in the ring with somebody like Danny Garcia before he went up to junior middleweight, but we all know Danny Garcia didn't want no parts of Terrence Crawford. We know that. So ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself these questions. Cause see, I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real tonight. Well, this is the same PB. This is the same PB. This is the same PBC. Cause see, I told you guys a long time ago. This is the same PBC that I told you back in 2018 when I went to Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder won. Keep in mind, I covered that fight. I went to that fight. Okay, went to that fight. I saw them on the Jumbotron acknowledge all these fighters that was there except Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford was there in attendance, and they didn't even acknowledge him. They was trying to say that the 3 belts they had at one time was the real belts. They didn't even want to acknowledge Terrence Crawford's WBO belt. They had every chance in the world to bring Terrence Crawford in. But these were the same people that were sitting up here talking all this top ranked Toby and all this kind of stuff. But then you made no effort to make the fight. It took y'all almost 2 years to finally make Terrence Crawford. It took y'all almost a year and a half to almost finally bite the bullet and make Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. So that's what people don't want to talk about while they sitting up here telling Terrence Crawford he need to be humble and all this stuff. And that's what I'll be saying. And the same thing with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson ain't got to take what deal that these people that's sitting up here talking behind computers saying. At the end of the day, if Shakur Stevenson is an accomplished Olympic medalist, he's far more advanced than Frank Martin. And as far as Frank Martin talking about what he would have did, that's him. As far as Devin Haney doing what Devin Haney did, that's Devin Haney. Everybody don't have to take that same route, and that's what people need to stop doing just because they affiliated with certain people. Look, I love Bill Haney, I love Devin, but at the same time, I'm not finna be on this tirade where I'm constantly attacking fighters just because I don't have access to them. You know, I'm not finna keep tearing down these black fighters. The thing is with Frank Martin is 32 years old. Frank Martin need to worry about Frank Martin. He need to worry. If Frank Martin's so worried about Frank Martin, why don't Frank Martin have Al Heyman call? If Shakur Stevenson don't get Devin Haney, why don't he have Al Heyman call Bob Arum and say, hey, let's set it up for Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin later on this year. I bet you Al Heyman won't do it, because Al Heyman don't really like making them type of fights. He don't believe in black versus black fights, to be honest with you. And Al Heyman got the same way Al Heyman did good things, he did questionable stuff. He did questionable stuff in the music business. He definitely did questionable stuff in the boxing business. But like I said before, he tried to follow that same Mayweather path with Errol Spence. But the thing is, Errol don't talk like Floyd. And I give Errol Spence credit for not sitting up there putting on, you know what I'm saying, a clown show like Floyd used to do. When you look at some of the stuff Floyd used to do, it's shameful, and it's shameful and it's disgraceful. You know, some of the stuff Floyd Mayweather was doing. This dude was in his 30s sitting up here like talking about he had to be the dude in the black hat, the villain in the black hat and stuff. Why we always got to be the villain? Ain't we vilified on a regular basis? Ain't black people vilified on a regular basis? Ain't we vilified enough? Ain't we vilified enough? Man, they say Frank Martin, casually, they say Frank Martin is like 32. I don't know, maybe he Cuban or something. I don't know, but he kind of up there in age. They talk about he in his 30s, really. So I don't know how old he is, but what I'm saying is about Frank Martin talking about, well, he would have did this, and, you know, he ate Shakur. Then, hey, listen, dude, you barely won your last fight. You look like trash in your last fight, dude. You barely won. A lot of people didn't even think you won that fight, dude. So you need to worry about how to look better in your next fight and stop speaking on other people. And that's the problem that I have with them people that's attached to Errol Spence. Stop like worrying about what other people do. You worry about yourself. You tell Al Heyman to call Bob Arum and say, hey, let's see, can we set up something, let's as a backup plan if we can't get this, if we can't get, if we can't get a fight maybe with Rolly or somebody like that. Or, because I'm telling you right now, Shakur will take that fight. Shakur will take Frank Martin in a heartbeat. He'll take that in a heartbeat. But see, that's the thing though. Everybody keep talking about Top Rank don't want to do, you know what I'm saying, cross promotional fights. That's not true, because they did a cross promotional fight with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. It can be done. Where there's a will, there's a way. Once again, keep in mind, Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis was a cross promotional fight, and I think we just passed that. But like I said, at the end of the day, another reason why the PBC didn't really want to make Spence versus Crawford, because like I said before, I think they would have never made the fight if Showtime wouldn't have told them, like, y'all better make this fight if y'all want to keep these deals. Because keep in mind, they had lost Fox, they had lost some other stuff. So basically all they really had was Showtime. And Showtime basically told them, hey, y'all got to make some fights. Now, at the end of the day, they brought in Canelo. So now they got Canelo for 3 fights. So they feel like, depending on who they put Canelo up against, they feel like Canelo should be able to sell and generate enough money to keep Showtime and the PBC happy. But at the same time, they're going to try to put Canelo in some fights that they feel like he can win. Now, do I feel like Charlo could backfire on Canelo? Yeah, absolutely. But do I think it will? I think at the end of the day, I know they say Charlo is technically bigger than Canelo, but he technically fights at another weight class. He fights at 2 weight classes down. So he's still going to have to get accustomed to going up 2 weight classes and have his body ready to fight Canelo. But who knows? Maybe he going to have this natural strength. They ain't gonna give Devin Haney or they ain't gonna give Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson $30 million. They ain't even gonna, I'm gonna be honest with you, they ain't even gonna try to get him 10 apiece. They gonna try, like, even if they try at best, they gonna try to do the same thing. They're gonna try to say, we'll give you maybe 2 or 3 up front, and then we'll give you the rest off the pay-per-views. And once again, if they don't actually see the books, then hey, you just don't know. They're not gonna, I'm telling you that right now. Devin Haney won't ever see $30 billion. And I hate to say this, not for no PBC card, unless Devin Haney just go on this tear where Devin Haney become like the face of boxing. But at the end of the day, we already know that they really don't like this center boxing around black fighters anymore, because this ain't the 80s and the 90s no more. They looking for the next Manny Pacquiao, whether he's as good as Manny Pacquiao or not. They looking for the next Oscar De La Hoya. Whether you believe it or not. And then here go the thing. You see what they did to David Benavidez. They made David Benavidez basically apologize to Canelo for actually blatantly ducking him. But that's what they do. Well, at the end of the day, Showtime make the final decision. Showtime and the PBC cut the checks. Because at the end of the day, Showtime and the PBC is paying Terrence Crawford, but they're paying them. But what I'm saying is that I have is them giving Ryan Garcia Paul don't know what he talking about. Paulie just always talk out the side of his neck, because that's what he known for doing. So, that's what he known for doing. So I pretty much take what Paulie Malignaggi say with a grain of sand. I'm just keeping it a buck. I just find that hilarious. Paulie Malignaggi, if you take him serious, something is wrong with you, and that's already been proven that Europeans ain't the face of boxing. They want them to be, but at the end of the day, they're carefully matched. I'm gonna tell you right now, had Triple G fought Demetrius Andrade, had he fought the Charlo brothers, had he fought, and if he had went up to 168 and fought Andre Ward, he would have all but likely lost those fights. If not lost all of them, he would have lost most of them. And the same thing with Lomachenko. Lomachenko was carefully matched. He was carefully matched. Now, the thing is, will Bob Arum, now I will say, speaking on Lomachenko, now you have to ask that question, is Bob Arum willing to give Lomachenko to the PBC? Sacrifice him to Tank? Because there is this notion, there's still last hope of notion to try to see could they get Lomachenko another title fight. The thing is with Lomachenko, I said years ago how to beat Lomachenko. Bring the fight to him and hit him to the body. Like I said, once again, everybody, it's funny now, everybody that didn't rewatch that Devin Haney fight, now all of a sudden, people are starting to admit, saying, oh, you know what, Town? Or some people who said, okay, they had Lomachenko winning, or they thought it was a draw, they finally starting to admit, okay, well, you know what, Town? You right, Lomachenko didn't really win that fight. Well, see, Cash G, that's the thing. They figure if Lomachenko just say, hey, you know what, I want to fight Tank because I know it's a big payday for me. If I know it's $15 million and fight Tank, and say that'll be my retirement fight, then Bob probably will make the fight. But here's the thing. What's left for Lomachenko? You heard Tim Bradley say this himself. What's left for Lomachenko if he loses to Shakur Stevenson? Because, see, I really watch fights and I don't get emotionally invested like some of these other people. Like I said before, you can make an argument that Lomachenko lost to, Jermaine Ortiz. Lomachenko fights the same way in every fight. He tries to start off slow, and I'm going to tell you something. Lomachenko don't have the ring IQ that people think he have. Because if he would have had the ring IQ that people think he had, he would have known that he should have started way faster. But the thing was, he was kind of trying to start a little bit faster with Devin Haney, but Devin Haney was racking him to the body so much and bothering him with those body shots. Now, keep in mind, Devin Haney ain't supposed to have no power. But Lomachenko was hesitant. And like I said before, Lomachenko got confident and he went on that tear. And I told y'all this was going to happen. When I broke down the fight, I said Lomachenko was going to be very dangerous the last quarter of the fight, that he was going to try to go on the tear. And then if you look at it closely, even when he went on those rallies and they were saying that he landed 30 punches in round 10 and 25 punches in round 11, Devin was slipping a lot of those punches. Some was landing, but some of them wasn't. And keep in mind, CompuBox is still ran by a human. So I didn't think Lomachenko landed no 30 punches, because I done seen fights where they'll say, hey, he landed 8 punches, and I'll be like, wait a minute, this dude clearly landed at least 15 punches in this round. So CompuBox ain't iron-proof. It ain't ironclad like people think it is and stuff. So when people were sitting up there like displaying the numbers, the punches thrown, and punches landed, they go by rounds. That's why you judge on a round by round basis. You're not judged by how many punches you throw and how many punches you land. You judge by a round by round basis. That's how boxing works. I'm gonna keep it 100, Chase. Gary Russell Jr., and I'm gonna just go on to say this now because it's like this. He kind of on the PBC's, list. He ain't too favored by the PBC. I don't even think Gary Russell Jr. tripping off fight no more. I know he want to fight, but I think it's to the point he ain't tripping off fight, because they've been doing Gary Russell Jr. dirty. Gary Russell Jr. he was trying to get Leo Santa Cruz for years. He was trying to get Tank. And then you see they didn't want him to go fight Devin Haney. And this is what I've been saying about Devin Haney. I don't know where this hatred then came for Devin Haney, but I think it's ridiculous. People act Devin Haney don't carry himself like Floyd Mayweather. He carry himself just like a regular dude. And as far as what happened in LA, ish happens. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Stuff happen. So we got to stop like playing these games. And I'm not finna, and I want to say something else. Stop misinterpreting and labeling every time you hear about a brother and a tool that they trying to be some kind of thug, because at the end of the day, it's just flat out racist, and it just need to be said. So if an Asian dude or a Hispanic dude or a non-black dude get caught with a weapon, he trying to be a gangster, why do black people allow these false labels and these falsehoods to be attached to them? And that's the problem. We just sit up there and let people attach stuff to us, and we don't say nothing. And a lot of people get mad at me because I'm one of the dudes that will say something. I'm going to say something every time. And if you got a problem with me saying something, that's your problem, not mine. So I'm just keeping it a buck. They've been doing, so people have to get out of that stuff. People got to stop sitting up there. People got to stop sitting up there just tolerating this kind of stuff. Because like I said, I see too many things that we as a whole, we tolerate. And I don't think we have to tolerate it, and I don't think we have to put up with it. And as far as us being upset about somebody having an issue with us responding to us being disrespected, well, that's their problem. And it just need to be said. What do you mean Dana White reportedly? No, it was on camera. You could, no, he did it. It wasn't no if. But then once again, they doubled down on it, and they tried to protect him and say, oh, well, let's not rush to judgment. But then everybody rushed to judgment when they heard about what happened to Wilder and what they think happened to Devin Haney. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what happened. Because I don't go by what TMZ, you got to understand, TMZ is a flash media outlet, where basically what I mean by flash, they want to come with a catchy headline to get people to watch them or read the article or listen to the video. So you have to remember that kind of stuff. You have to remember that. Keep in mind, there's always a different set of rules, whether people like it or not. But yeah, as far as Devin Haney go and Shakur Stevenson, I bet you they won't get, I bet you money they won't get in money that they gave Ryan Garcia allegedly. These are just reports. Because if Ryan Garcia allegedly made $30 million for fighting Tank, then that fight sold more than what they making us believe. Because if he made $30 million, then that means that fight must have sold around 2 billion pay-per-views. So I'm just saying, somebody need to answer me that question. How in the hell do you justify Ryan Garcia getting paid that type of money? Ryan Garcia hasn't accomplished nothing to get paid that kind of money. And that's just the honest to God truth. But anyway, appreciate you guys tapping in. I'll tap in with you guys later on.